How would you like to get my best bet today and the plays of every single handicapper at PickNation.com for free, no strings attached? Guys, I'm not kidding around. Al DeMarco here, General Manager of the world's largest online sports gambling community, PickNation.com. And today, you can get my best bet and the plays of every single handicapper at the site for free simply by using the one-day free all-access pass at PickNation.com. That's right, my best bet, the plays of 10 handicappers for free. If you were to buy them separately, guys, you would spend over $600, but you're going to get them for free, the one-day free all-access pass at PickNation.com. Now, you're asking yourself, why am I giving it away for free? Because, guys, I'm that confident that I put together a staff of the best handicappers in the nation that can win for you on a consistent basis. What better way to show you how good they are than by giving you their plays today for free? Once again, the free one-day all-access pass available now. All you've got to do is click on the ad at PickNation.com. NFL season quickly winding down. Here we are in week number 12, and leading off the second half of our Countdown to Kickoff program is going to be a little preview of that game between the Falcons and Tampa Bay. Falcons still comfortably ahead in the division, a 3-game lead over the hard-charging Buccaneers, but may I just remind you that the Falcons are 4-1 against the spread on the road this season. What was that one loss? Their last road game, that little upset loss when they lost their perfect season at New Orleans a couple weeks ago. I think this is going to be probably the best game from a fan standpoint today, and one of the games that's obviously going to attract the most action betting-wise.
Well, there's no doubt that Tampa Bay is the most improved team in the NFL. Greg Schiano changing the culture in Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay used to be a city that was known for cheesy hookers. Now they're known for a strong smash-mouth defense that's #1 against the run. But the problem is, they can't stop the pass, and they're facing Matty Ice. That's a big problem. Now, I know he had a bad game last week, but I'm throwing that game out. New Orleans at home is a different team than Tampa Bay at home. The key with past performances is you have to figure out how they affect the line. Obviously, Tampa Bay playing great. I think that's why we see a pick'em game here against an Atlanta team that, to me, is in a different class than Tampa Bay. I'm going to go with Atlanta here. They're the class of the race.
And that was the Tampa Chamber of Commerce just falling off their seats just a moment ago. You know, it's an interesting thing. You said that Ryan had a bad game. I think bad may be an understatement. The 5 interceptions last week at home against Arizona. But, again, it was also a game that we cautioned everybody about last week, that Arizona was an awful team coming off a bye. But Atlanta, you lose your perfect season. You lose to a team that you just cannot beat, that being the Saints. And now you're expected to come home and to cover almost a double-digit spread. It wasn't going to happen, and it didn't. They were lucky to win that game. The problem I have in this game is, you know, you look at this Tampa Bay team, and Josh Freeman's been great. 16 touchdown passes, 3 interceptions over the last 6 games. And this Tampa Bay defense has really come on strong stopping the run. #1 in the league in stopping the run. Number 32 in the league, guys, out of 32 teams stopping the pass. Well, if you can't stop the pass, I got to think Matt Ryan is going to come in here and go, just going to throw the ball. And with that great trio of receivers, Tony Gonzalez, Roddy White, and Julio Jones, I think the Buccaneers are going to have a hard time stopping them. At the same time, I think we've seen the Falcons have leaks defensively. They are not a good team. Steve, I'm looking at this side here, or the total here, 48.5 points. I mean, I lean a little toward Atlanta, but I really think it's a pick'em game for a reason, because it's a coin flip game. But I look at the total, and I think that might be the better way to go. Take this one over at 48.5.
Well, let me add this. Atlanta didn't get blown out by New Orleans. They were in that game for the most part. Had they won that game, what would be the line in this game? Atlanta 4.5? Because they lost that game, we're seeing it pick'em. That's what I'm talking about, how lines are affected by what happened in the prior performances. That's why I think it's a value here. I'm staying off the total. I'm sticking with Atlanta pick'em.
Hey, and guys, remember Matt Ryan this year on the road has completed 70% of his passes, 14 touchdowns, and just 3 interceptions. And keep in mind, you know, Carson Palmer lit up this Tampa Bay secondary in the fourth quarter 2 Sundays ago on the road. So, again, they can't stop opposing quarterbacks. Your next game is going to be Seattle and Miami. You know, Seattle's been a moneymaker at home. They've been a money burner on the road.
Absolutely. And what a difference 2 weeks in the NFL makes. I mean, you go back 2 weeks ago, big advantage to Ryan Tannehill, looking like a rookie sensation at the time. All of a sudden, the next 2 weeks go by, and you got to give the advantage to Wilson here. I mean, he's the one playing the better ball. But at the end of the day, for Seattle, it's all about defense. They have the strongest, most physical defense in the league. I think points will be hard to come by. You do have to ask yourself, can Russell Wilson get the job done on the road? Al, 4 touchdowns to 8 interceptions when he's on the road, and that's juxtaposed against 11 touchdowns to 0 interceptions when he's playing at home. Again, I do think this game comes down to defense. I'm going under the total here. 37.5 is that number.
Yeah, I could see the under in this game. And keep in mind, guys, Seattle, even though the Seahawks have covered 18 of their last 24 games, you're now asking this team coming off a bye to lay 3 points at Miami. And granted, the Dolphins have lost 3 straight games. But just remember, the Seattle team's 1-4 straight up on the road. I mean, I look at this and I'm going, are you crazy? You want me to lay 3 with a team that's won 1 game out of 5 tries on the road, and they're the favorite? I don't buy it. I don't think Miami is as bad as it has appeared to be in the last few weeks. I think Ryan Tannehill has just hit that little bit of a freshman slump here
like
at the
rookie
moment.
wall.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that this game could possibly be a turnaround because, again, the Seahawks just haven't played that well. So I lean a little towards Seattle. I can certainly see the under. If you paid me, I wouldn't play the games. How's that for being honest with you? Hey, guys, before we get to 2 of the better games on today's board, those being Baltimore, San Diego, and Green Bay, and the New York Giants, let me just remind you that you get my best bet today. The best bets of every single handicapper at the site at picknation.com for free using something that's unique to the industry for us. It's the 1-day free all-access pass.
Right, so go right to the site right now. You'll see a big yellow ad. It says free all-access pass, everybody's picture right underneath it. You click on that, and then you get it. You get just that. Every single play, all the analysis, everything that a paying customer gets, only you get it absolutely free. And I don't know if there's anyone left after 12 weeks of this show that hasn't taken advantage of this offer yet, but just in case that 1 or 2 people out there that haven't done it are listening, do it now, do it this week, get all the plays. Maybe you're on the fence, maybe you've been watching the show, you've been trying it on your own, and you haven't had a good, you haven't gone well against your bookmaker. Now's the time to come in, let us help you. That's what we're here to do. Grab that all-access pass absolutely free.
And remember, guys, you're not just getting our plays, you're getting our analysis, and you are getting $600-700 worth of action for free, no strings attached. And when I say free, I do mean free over at picknation.com, the 1-day free all-access pass. Steve, the Baltimore Ravens find themselves in an interesting position here going to San Diego today. You've got the Ravens coming off a big division rivalry road win against the Steelers, albeit a Steelers team that was brittle and bruised and without their starting quarterback. Now it's post-holiday. You're asking them to fly cross-country. On the road this year, this is a Ravens team that had to score 11 points in the last 5 minutes. I know because I had them that day against the Cleveland Browns to win 25-15 after blowing an early lead of 14-0. Ravens team that only won 9-6 at Kansas City. A Ravens team that got dismantled and blown out at Houston. They do not play well on the road. I think this is a spot, I hate to say it because I hate supporting Nerve Turner, but I have to give the Chargers my money.
Well, it's week 12, so we don't need any fancy analysis at this point. Everyone pretty much well knows us by now. Look, the Chargers, they absolutely stink, but I think Baltimore stinks too. Baltimore's in the midst of a cross-country road trip. That's got to affect them. But the big thing is here, I think there's a lot of parity between these two teams. I think they're pretty much even. Yet, San Diego should be getting 3 points because they're the home team. Actually, they're not. They're a little bit of the underdog. That's a value. I like San Diego here, too. I also would look at the over. I don't think either one of these teams can play any defense at this point. I think they're going to score like crazy. I think it's going over the total.
Oh, I agree with you here because especially with the Chargers being so stout against the run, that's going to mean Ray Rice is not going to be able to find much running room. That means Joe Flacco is going to have to throw the ball more. Guys, you pass it more, less time eaten up on the clock, more scoring opportunities. I think that this line is 47 for a reason in terms of the total. As we said throughout this season, the Ravens defense is not the Ravens defense of old. It's just an old defense. They have no pass rush, 19 sacks in 10 games. That was a good 6-game stretch in the old days for the Baltimore Ravens defense. So even though the Chargers have lost 5 of their last 6 games, I think this is a great spot to go against Baltimore. Ravens 1-5 ATS, their last 6 non-division road games. And I agree with you. I think it goes over, but I think San Diego, the side, is the better of the 2 plays. And the final game, I think, is the most interesting one on the board. I mean, you know, when Green Bay and the New York Giants meet, you have wildly diverse results in terms of the outcome. If it's a postseason game, go with the Giants. If it's a regular season game, you go with the Packers. That's been the history here over the last few years. But you've got an Eli Manning-led team that is struggling. They're coming off the bye, and really they're struggling because Eli Manning has really struggled here of late. I mean, I think it's 3 straight games without a touchdown with 4 interceptions in that stretch. They're coming in here at 2.5 points. I don't know. This is a good game to watch and a tough game to handicap and pick a side.
Well, the Giants went into Lambeau in the playoffs last year and really beat the crap out of the Packers, surprised everyone. And you're right, the Giants are on the opposite side of the momentum track right now. If you remember last year at this time, they were just starting to pick it up. They were just starting to gel and look like one of the better teams in football. Not the case right now. The other thing is this Green Bay team, they're flying under the radar this year in general, but they're a very, very dangerous team, still a little banged up. But to me, Al, the Green Bay Packers are hungry. And this game, I think, comes down to who's hungrier. The Giants, it's really not a must-win for them because everyone else in their division is playing like crap. Green Bay has to get this game. They want this game. I'm going with the Packers here.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one because, listen, the Packers have covered 18 of their last 23 when cast as a road dog. But more importantly, think about the Giants' defense. There's another unit, much like Baltimore's, and has this reputation, big blue, strong defense. Not the case this year, guys. Have not been able to get consistent pressure on opposing quarterbacks. Secondary repeated breakdowns this season. And think about what they've done at home. They lose their season opener at home to the Dallas Cowboys. They have to rally from 157 points down to come back and beat Tampa Bay. They gave up like 156 in the game. They allowed Cleveland to score at will for the first half against them. Repeatedly, we have seen the Giants unable to stop somebody. They jump up big at Dallas. They immediately give up the lead and give up 24 points before rallying for the win. I think of what Aaron Rodgers did last week against a good Detroit defense on the road. I think of what Aaron Rodgers did at Houston against maybe the best defense in the league where he shredded the Texans. So I'm with you. I got to go with Green Bay getting 2.5 points. And until Eli Manning and that offense shows me that they can get back on track, I mean, you are right. This is their typical mid-season swoon, but nobody says it has to end here in Week 12. But obviously, the line has been set. And I think it's trying to suck you in as a gambler going, this is a trap. Because at 2.5, you're going, oh, the Giants aren't going to lose again. They're coming off a bye. They're playing at home.
Biggest mistake gamblers make is they turn football into roulette. So they wait for 3 blacks so they can bet a red. Eli Manning, 3 bad games, now they're going to all of a sudden bet him. You don't do that. You don't do it with handicappers. You don't do it with teams. You bet on the momentum, not against the momentum. Green Bay, clearly the team with the momentum. I live in New York, Al, 3 days a week. You know, I split my time with Miami. Everybody in New York is in my ear this week telling me, oh my God, Eli Manning, don't count out the heart of a champion. This is a guy that knows that senses it's a big game and is going to bring his best game. Baloney. I'll bet on Eli Manning when he's going good, not when he's going bad.
Well, those same people in your ear, they were thinking the Jets were going to the Super Bowl this season too. So what the hell do they know? So now we've annoyed the people in Tampa and the people in New York
Well,
City.
Jets could do the halftime show at the Super Bowl, bring the whole circus in. That'd be a lot of fun.
Hey guys, remember, picknation.com. You can catch the show in its entirety over there. Make sure you check out my daily video reports as well for free on picknation.com. And we will be catching you again next weekend right here on the Countdown to Kickoff program.